KavaSpills Podcast, episode 15. This one's really near and dear to me because I'm really excited about this because we got a really special guest I don't want to reveal just yet. Before we go into that, who are we?
Ames.
Sloan.
LB2. And,
Well, here's a hint.
oh, we got a couple hints on, maybe triple hints on who we're talking to today. Near and dear friend of mine. I've known him for a while. And I was very fortunate when I started drinking kava to be surrounded by real passionate kava drinkers too. So I was shown the right way the first time. And this fellow is definitely in my story. Before we get into that, how was y'all's week?
It was great.
My week's good. Working hard, getting lots of dresses in. I had a beautiful model in today, and she did
shout her
some
out?
amazing content. Shout out to Madison. You killed it, girl. Oh
Gorgeous.
my goodness.
I saw some of the pictures. They're pretty
The
dope.
content was phenomenal. I'm so happy.
Nice.
And you, Sloan?
Yeah.
What's going on, girl?
You know.
I can call it. You can call it. You know.
The
The same, the
normal.
norm.
Went to the island.
Went to the
Yeah,
island,
yeah.
took the dog, and
Yeah.
been so busy at work. Like, I feel like it's just nonstop.
Yeah.
I just am like a firefighter.
It's all right. Well, we're gonna be chilling today.
Yes, I need
How
to
do you-
chill.
How do
Phone's
you
on
like,
silent.
speaking of chill, how do you like your new job?
Chill room's dope. I'm in there in the morning. I'm brewing all the kava, so
Back in your element.
back in my element. So it's dope. It's really nice. So back in the kava tour, if you guys remember, I think it was the third stop.
Yeah.
The third stop. We strategically put that as a third stop for a
Yes.
reason because in my opinion, the strongest kava in St. Pete. Sorry, hands down.
Yeah.
And that's been
You need
confirmed
it.
by several people. So we're fortunate enough to be sitting down with the Kava OG, owner of Lowtide and Gulfport, Mr. Sean Simpson.
Welcome.
Fanfare. Thank you for being here first and foremost.
Thank you for
Thank
having
you.
me first and foremost.
And he did not come empty-handed when he showed up.
Oh.
I got a phone call that said, "I'm here. Send someone out. I need some help bringing this stuff in."
Nice.
And Christmas, what do you have here? What is this?
As you know, but others may not know, I recently went to Vanuatu and Fiji. It was my first time leaving the country, so it was pretty awesome. I don't know if I'm in focus now that I've stepped
Man,
forward.
so.
Maybe, I don't know.
We'll see.
Yeah.
All right, yeah.
Cool. And when I was in Fiji, I bought a Tanoa. Let's see.
So beautiful.
You guys can
God,
see
that is
this.
beautiful.
Here, I'll take this out. I think you can at least
That is
see
beautiful. Look at
it
that.
here.
Now, is that handmade?
I forget what kind of Bessie wood.
Okay.
And then these are mother of pearls in here.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah.
Everybody knows
So-
Amanda likes pearls.
So that was made there.
I bought this in Fiji, so it was made in Fiji. And I brought this to Noah. It's a ceremonial bowl to drink kava out of, so I also brought kava to drink with you guys out of the Tanoa.
Music to my heart.
And you guys
Good
will be
kava.
I
the-
feel really privileged to be
Good kava,
having
too.
kava out of this right now.
Good kava
It's
too.
pretty
I
awesome.
know y'all
The
were-
best kava.
I know I showed
I'm
y'all-
biased, but
It is.
Yeah. It's no,
you
it's-
guys already said it.
It's
You guys
pretty
already
good.
said it.
When we were on the tour, after Lowtide stop, I saw a bunch of to-go boxes, so people
Yeah.
needed a second win after that.
Yep.
It was like the woo.
But it
Gather
was
your-
perfect
gather your-
because
yeah.
there was food right there.
Oh
so.
yeah, Gulfport is a perfect place. How do you like? What's it like owning a Kava bar in Gulfport?
It's incredible.
Yeah.
Do you keep it weird?
We definitely keep it weird. That's
Yeah,
for sure.
too.
I mean, I don't know if I should say this, but whatever. There's one of my friends at Lowtide says, "Welcome to Lowtide, where the straight guys are gayer than the gay guys."
Facts.
Yeah, we're all doing weird shit, grabbing each other's butts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I love Gulfport. It's absolutely amazing. When we were first talking about opening up Lowtide, They didn't really know where we were going to go. Somebody suggested Gulfport. Went down and checked it out. I'd been there maybe once. I'm born and raised in St. Pete, but I've maybe been to Gulfport once before we went down there. We parked down by the beach and just started walking around, seeing, checking out the area, seeing if anything was available for a building. And everyone's walking, we're walking in there, hi, how you doing? Where the fuck am I right now? And people were so nice, and then stumbled upon the building that is Lowtide, and just on the side of the building there was a bunch of tikis, and I said, we got to call that number right now.
Oh, wow.
And now we're 9.5 years in.
Oh, man.
Awesome.
Oh, man. One of my favorite things about that bar, and I'm not a Star Wars fan, but when you walk in...
see you later.
I mean, I'm becoming more the more I go to Lowtide, but he has an entire, we'll show footage from it, we have an entire bar dedicated to Star Wars with working buttons.
It's the Death Bar.
The Death Bar.
Yeah, it was themed after the Death Star.
Was that a obviously custom? How long did that take?
I'd have to ask TJ again, but our friend TJ Neer, you guys know him.
Oh, yeah.
It was one day I did not really like the bar that we had before. It was just didn't come out the way I really wanted it. I still thought it was cool, but I was talking about that one day, and my buddy TJ's like, I was like, you know what, it'd be cool to have like a lightsaber in a bar. Just joking, and he's listening, he goes, I could do that.
Oh.
Really? You could do that?
Kava community.
You have somebody for everything.
And then he sketched it up and showed me the design, and we talked about it, and then he got with Robert Ashbrook, if you know Robert Ashbrook.
Yeah. Shout out to Robert.
I linked those two together, and it was TJ's design, and he and Robert built it together. I had to hound him towards the end to get it done, and then our friend Patrick Rush painted the whole top.
Wow, that's beautiful.
And I think it took them probably 3 months.
Oh, wow.
But they had other jobs and doing other stuff too, but still it was a big task for them. They had all the electrical to put a lightsaber in the middle of the bar.
Yeah.
And all that stuff too.
Yeah,
and
all those buttons light up.
They absolutely exceeded my expectations.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's pretty cool.
And that's another thing about, we talk about the Kava community, and that's an example of the Kava community. You could be sitting down somewhere talking about a vision that you have, and could be sitting next to somebody who can make that happen.
Yeah, I mean, think about just between the three of us, right?
Yeah.
We're sitting there and somebody walks in, they're like, I'm getting married in 2 months.
Absolutely.
There's Ames.
Yep.
Right?
Somebody walks in, I had to move out of my house, I need a storage unit.
Yep.
I'm there.
I
need a Kavatender.
Yeah. Or a DJ.
Or a DJ, yes.
Right? Or an actor.
Or an actor.
Or an actor.
Or an actor.
Hey.
Whatever you want.
There's just so many different types of people from every walk of life, and everybody comes together as just one.
Yeah.
That's the most beautiful
Love
part
it.
about the Kava bars, in my
is.
opinion.
It is.
One out's a little different because the new regulation, but I've always said it's like someone can be sitting at a Kava bar who's 18 and talking to somebody who's in their 60s,
Yep.
and it just doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
For the most part, you know.
It does.
No, it
But that's
doesn't.
where the beauty of it is that everyone is just so kind and so welcoming, and
And you don't need a crew to go with you. You
No,
can just
absolutely
walk
not.
in and be comfortable, and there's a friendly face, a stranger. Nobody's a stranger really in the Kava bar.
No, you're a stranger for like 2 seconds until you talk to someone.
So you learn someone else.
And even like an example at Lowtide, this is one that comes to mind as years ago. Is Macy is one of the girls that works at Lowtide, and she's been working at Lowtide since 2015.
Oh wow!
And there's a lot of people that have been working there for a long time. Some longer than 2015, some shorter, but. There was a couple of guys that came in, and they were, weren't really sure, but she was so friendly. And this is with all the bartenders, so friendly, and she's like, oh, well, why don't you go play this game with them that they're playing out there, and, coax them into joining and, help them out. So, they didn't feel so awkward. So you go into a new place, and you don't really know people, it can kind of be a little weird.
Yep.
And she and all the employees, they always are so welcoming. That's why I love my employees so much, because they are so welcoming, and they invite people to, here, meet this person, meet this person. Oh, it seems like you guys would get along, and and then
I mean, 9 years.
Immediately comes,
9 years says it'll, that retention, having an employee for that long says something about
It's a
the
good
work
place to
environment.
work.
That would be a dream job. It's just every time I go in there, everyone's so chill, man. Everyone is just so
I'm the
chill.
one living the dream because they all stuck around and dealt with my bullshit. For I'm very lucky to have the staff that I have for as long as I have.
Hell yeah.
Like Kimberly, who is the manager. Shout out to her, she's my savior.
Yeah.
She started working on Lowtide like 2-3 months after we opened.
Oh, wow.
wow.
And same with Jay. They both started at the same time, and she's the manager. He's running our social media and crushing that.
That's awesome.
I mean, everybody's amazing.
Oh yeah.
You guys really
I could sit
got
here and
me.
just talk all day,
Yeah.
but I don't want to take the whole time talking about how awesome my staff is.
You guys really got me with that Times Square.
Oh yeah, that was Jay's idea. Yeah.
I really thought that was real. I thought the people were sitting on the steps and you were there in New York City and there was your commercial. We should show a little clip of that
Yeah,
because
that
that
was-
was so cool.
Did you get?
I
Did
was
you?
so proud.
Were you fooled? Were you fooled?
Yes.
All right. I think she called me and was like, how much is that? It's like, what? They got a billboard in Times Square.
Yeah, I did have somebody message me like, "Are you opening up a Kava Bar in New York?" I was like, "No, never."
I spent my
That
entire
is-
budget on the billboard.
That is one of the last places I would open one. It was just Jay was going to New York and he found out that you can get ad space on that billboard for wasn't really very much either. But he's like, this would be fun to do. And
Yeah.
he did, and he was there and he was able to capture it while he was there.
That's so cool.
Yeah,
And
so
if
it's pretty
you-
cool.
If you paid to do it, it'd be up for a second and you'd have the video to remember it.
Absolutely.
So, like,
Absolutely.
you just missed that second and it
Yeah.
lives on forever
Yeah.
for free.
Uh-huh.
That's awesome.
Absolutely.
So, Sean, you told us how you came to find, the
Hey, let's
Lowtide
I
location.
don't mean to cut you off, but let's sip some kava.
That's a great idea.
Let's sip some kava.
Yeah.
I shall wait.
Yeah.
Let's sip some kava. No,
All
you
right.
can talk.
I just wanted to know how Kava came into your life. Like, how were you introduced to it?
That's a wonderful question. So this was 2009. I've never been a drinker really, and I kind of started to distance. I kind of became a loner for a while, which I love being a loner. And Kevin Nelson, who works at Lowtide, he had moved into a place right down the street with his brother. He moved into a place right down the street from where Bula Cafe opened up, the original one. And I was hanging out with him and his brother a lot. I've known Kevin and his brother since we were young. I went to high school with Kevin, but we all grew up a block and a half from each other.
Oh wow.
So we knew each other growing up and everything. And started hanging out with them a lot more and really getting to know those guys because they're fucking amazing. And I can't say enough great things about them. They're like, you gotta check out this cool, crazy place that we just opened up next to our place. It's like, okay, what is it? And they tell me about it, and I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, is it mud water or something?
Yeah.
That sounds weird as fuck, man. And so I went in, and Ken Huyumpa, who is a partner at
man. We're
Grassroots
trying
now.
to get him on the show, Ken.
Yeah, come on,
I'm
Ken.
chasing you.
Yeah.
Sean's asking you too. Let's go.
And I met Ken, and he was explaining Kava to me. He's oh, there's reverse tolerance, and it doesn't taste great. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm here. I'm going to try it. I'm like, this seems like a pretty cool place. I try it, and I think it's disgusting because I didn't know what I was getting myself into. I didn't really feel anything that first time. I had maybe 2 shells.
Yeah.
But I was like, you know what? I really enjoyed hanging out there. There wasn't a bunch of bullshit like the bars. There's just chill people having a good time. I want to go back.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I didn't want to be the dickhead not buying anything because I didn't really feel anything. So I was like, all right. And Ken kept giving me free kava because they just
Yeah.
opened. No one knew what kava was in the area.
Right.
And we went back to Kevin and Brendan, Kevin's brother's house, and we're playing Xbox or something. And I was sank into the couch. I'm like, hey, you guys want to go back to the Kava Bar? So once I finally felt it, I was there all the time. And then I became very good friends with Ken. And I started doing, I really started, I have a filmmaking company as well, Time Code Productions. And we really started, I personally started a little earlier than that, but I got really my big start was with Ken. I asked him, I was like, hey man, let me make a commercial for you. He goes, we don't have the money for that. We just opened. And I was like, no, I'm not asking you for money. Just let me make one. If you don't like it, throw it in the trash. I don't care. And I made one, and he really liked it. So then I kept making them, and then I eventually
Nice.
lived with Ken, and eventually then worked at Bula. And then I
didn't know
left.
that. You worked at Bula?
I worked on payroll there for a year.
Bad.
But I was like filling in bar back or bartend if people were
Yeah.
sick here and there, brewing if I needed to, whatever they needed until I officially got hired. But I was only on payroll for a year, and then I left after Ken left Bula because it wasn't the same. Ken
No.
built this beautiful community,
Yeah.
and after he left Bula, it just was not the same.
Yeah.
And it reached a point that I don't want to get into, but I
Yeah.
just couldn't do it anymore there, and it broke my heart. I cried when I made that decision,
Oh, yeah.
not knowing what the fuck I was going to do,
Yeah.
Right.
but it felt like the right decision to me.
And what that place meant to you.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, and those memories still mean a lot to me.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah. We talked about it on a previous episode about what makes a kava bar dope. You know, it's like the person behind the bar makes it. You can have it on the beach, the beautiful scenery, everything's
Yeah, it could be a
place,
hole in the wall dive kava
you
bar.
know, but it's
Yep.
really the person that is behind the bar. When my very first shell was given to me by Ken as well. Yep,
Awesome.
yep.
That's
I
awesome.
walked into Bula.
He's the chief, man.
He is. I stopped drinking and I thought my social life was over. And so some friends invited me to this weird place and I walk in and I'm just like,
It's a jungle.
it's weird, but I like something about this place. I like it. Everybody's happy and everyone's talking. And then I tasted my first shell. My throat got numb and it was, you know.
Done after.
Yeah, oh yeah. I got kava tattooed on me now.
Nice.
Speaking of kava,
Yeah, now we just talked a lot about
I know, I'm just
kava.
talking kava's
I have
making
a lot more questions. Don't
Yeah,
worry.
well, we can get
No,
to it.
man.
Over, we can talk about it over kava.
Sloan will ask you all day.
All right, so like I said, I brought this Tanoa from Fiji, from when I was just out there, and I have Vanuatu kava.
Let's go.
Oh, wait, this is like
go.
special.
So I spent more. This is just regular Vanuatu kava.
Okay.
I do have some special stuff I just ordered. It's called Kalai, and you'll have to try that when we get it in.
Yeah.
Some exclusive stuff like anybody.
It's not essentially exclusive. Like they sell it at a couple other bars down south.
Yeah,
my
yeah.
supplier. I'm only getting a few because it's a special one.
Now, how
and
important
it
is?
kind of has a hint of chocolate to it.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So is it a body?
I believe it's more mind oriented.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Which
what I
is my
like.
favorite. This
Yeah.
is what we have the white sand from Lowtide here.
Okay.
Nice.
We
Oh, I
only
don't think
do.
I've had
Yeah,
that
we only
yet.
Maybe during our reviews of the
Oh,
first attempt of our
yes,
reviews of
okay.
all the kava that didn't go
Wow.
so well.
So that's
I
the
love the sound
beautiful
of that.
white sand. That's my favorite kava that we sell.
Why do they call it white? Is it because of its appearance?
That's part of it. Yeah, yeah.
All right. Sound like a scholar over
It
here.
does look like
Is it because of
But
its appearance?
we only serve Vanuatu kava. Now this is a bowl from Fiji. But what I'm going to do is get you guys cups. I'm going to scoop out of here.
Let's go.
And I drank most of my kava. Well, I didn't drink really any kava in Fiji except for the kava that we brought from Vanuatu.
Really?
There's really, where we were in Fiji, I'll say, there's not really kava bars there. I saw a couple that they served alcohol as well.
Huh.
Oh, interesting.
How do you feel about that?
I don't like that at all.
Okay.
I'm not a fan of, you should not be mixing kava and alcohol, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's just my opinion. I'm not a doctor. So,
Yeah, I agree. I just feel like they shouldn't be mixed. They shouldn't be in the same place.
so before we get into actually drinking it, I'll just explain the way I drink kava in Vanuatu.
Okay.
It was in this, very, not the best place.
Yeah.
We were drinking in the slums with the real kava drinkers. So,
Uh-huh.
so there's many islands in Vanuatu. I was on Port Vila,
Alright.
which is the capital. And the area we were hanging out is from the Pentecost Island, was the people from Central Pentecost mostly that have migrated over to Port Vila, and that's where they live. And my new buddy Fabrice, I'm gonna make him a movie star.
Fabrice.
He came over. He came over from Central Pentecost and brought kava from his farm, so that's what we were drinking.
Fresh.
Yeah, fresh green kava. So they just scrape the bark off,
Wow.
and then they use just the fresh root. And the couple times that I saw them making it, they weren't adding much water because they were able to juice the root.
Yeah.
Oh, just juicing the root,
Yeah.
not grounding
Yeah,
it to
there
a
was
powder.
one.
Juice the
Yeah.
Because
root.
it wasn't
Like, are you
aged
trying to-
root yet,
Yeah,
right?
No, it
Mhm.
wasn't dried, but it also wasn't cleaned the way, like in the facility where my supplier gets his stuff from. It's a very expensive facility, and they have a microbiologist on site to test
Okay.
everything. They take Korean kava, they dry it themselves.
Oh, wow.
They clean it through all these machines and all kinds of stuff. Well, I'm drinking just the root, so all kinds of bacteria and
Oh,
shit
yeah,
in it.
I can imagine.
I
That's
had
how they do it, though,
yeah,
right?
Yeah. And I was up there every night, and I had diarrhea for 10 days.
Wow.
Welcome. It's your welcoming present.
Totally worth it, though. Totally would do it again.
Hey, man.
So the way that they would drink, at least in the Central Pentecost way, where I was, is usually it's like a small group.
Mhm.
You never do they don't do the large bula and everything, and they're very quiet and like whisper. We can't do the whole thing here because basically what I would do is I was with my friend Jeff, and we would order kava, and we'd get our bowls similar to bowls like this. And except for when I did a ceremony, I had the coconut shell. But with certain bowls, they'd give it to us. We'd walk off to the side, and we would very quietly, if it was a group of four, we would hold up our shells and say "sini,"
Sini.
which essentially just translates to kava in Central Pentecost. Southern Pentecost, they say something slightly different, and then Northern Pentecost, I think Southern was Malak. I can't remember, but where I was, we were drinking with Central Pentecost people, so we were saying "sini." So you say "sini," you drink your kava, and then you spit.
Oh.
A lot of the kava bars in that area, they all have spit troughs. The one I mainly hung out with was next to a traditional Central Pentecost nakamal, and they didn't have the spit trough there, so we just walked over and spit in the grass. And you don't spit the kava out, you swallow the kava. When I've showed people this, they're like, wait, I'm supposed to spit the kava out? No, you drink the kava.
Drink the kava.
And then you spit, and then you take water and you slosh around your mouth and spit that out and kind of spit again. And it's kind of a sign of respect that the kava is good if you're, when you spit.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So.
I mean, y'all can spit once if
I
you
don't
want.
want to spit.
All right.
Yeah. So thank you guys for having me on the KavaSpills
Yeah, let's get that, let's get
KavaSpills
that right.
podcast.
Hey.
Thank you
Sini.
for coming.
Sini. So they don't say bula at all.
Bula is a Fijian way of drinking.
Okay.
And it's
We just witnessed how she got a question in before.
yeah.
You saw
I've
that?
been waiting.
She
Halfway.
Oh, you good?
pierced that question through.
So
Good
in
job.
reality, that would be disrespecting the kava and Vanuatu. I'll tell you a funny story before you get into your question. So when I first got there, we were going to a kava bar. My friend Jeff said, "Be very quiet, just whisper. You have to be respectful of the kava." I said, "Yeah, no problem. Sure, whatever I'm supposed to do, I'll do it." And then there was one night we were hanging out next to the Nakamal at the kava bar there. And for those who don't know, Nakamal is kind of where kava bars originated from in Vanuatu. It's this little hut. It's now it's kind of more like a ceremonial kind of thing. And the young boys sleep in there, I believe.
When was the first shell drunk? Like, how far does kava go back?
Thousands of years.
Thousands of
Yeah,
years.
I believe over 3,000 years. But so we were there hanging out one night. It's like 8 o'clock at night. It's pitch black out, except for a couple lights. And some guy up the hill starts screaming about something. I don't know what it was. And all of a sudden, there's just 30 people came out of nowhere. I didn't see these people. They come out and just sprint, run up the hill. And I don't think that guy had a good time after yelling.
Oh, wow.
I don't know exactly what happened, but I wasn't there. But I believe a
So
fist
it's
was
sacred.
thrown because he was, from my understanding, because he was disrespecting not only the kava, but there was the traditional nakamal there.
Mm-hmm.
And then, that's so.
Yeah. That's
very
generation.
That
quiet,
is so
yeah.
cool. Like, I
love
love
it.
that, but
It was
I
a
mean,
little
sorry to
wild.
that guy, but
Yeah, it was a little wild. But I mean, if you're living next to a nakamal in Vanuatu and you know you're supposed to respect the kava, then you probably should just
Yeah.
respect the
That's
kava.
like like living next to a church and you're throwing parties all the
Yeah.
time.
yeah, I
Like,
just
and you're
love
mad
how
that they asked you to
sacred
calm
it
down.
is.
Yeah, they really truly respect the kava so much there, and they were just the most generous and welcoming people as well. And it was eye-opening for me because it was like, wow, okay, this is what I tried to do already at home. And they just got hit by 2 cyclones right
Oh,
before I
wow.
got there. Within 1 week,
Oh, wow.
they got hit by 2 Category 4s. and they're buying me and Jeff Kava, and I'm like,
Oh wow.
you guys should have like nothing, and you're buying. I can't say no. Like
I know.
you know,
Right.
and it was so beautiful.
How much is a shell of kava?
It was it 50 cell blow, I think is how you said it, which is 50 cents
Oh my
Vanuatu.
gosh.
Wow.
Which what does that translate to?
I just put
See,
you
I
down.
think maybe it's 50 cents in ours. I can't remember.
Wow.
That's just so stupid. I actually have some of the money on me
That's
from
pretty
out
cool.
there. I kept some of it to bring back.
Now I feel like they were all right. There's probably not a lot of Americans that go there, so
There was some Americans in the hotel.
yeah.
There was no white people where I was drinking.
So I feel like they probably gave you the, was trying to, make you puke pretty much.
I didn't puke once.
They
No,
didn't.
they were respectful.
Wow.
If you didn't, like, if you want to stop, you can. No problem.
Nope.
If you're reaching that point, it takes you a little while to swallow it down.
Yeah.
No problem. They were totally cool with it.
Yeah.
They weren't trying to force me to they're like, come on, one more, come on. I was like, no, I can't. It was like, okay, no problem.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they weren't trying to force nothing on me.
Yeah, if you come to any bar workout, it goes quite the opposite.
Yeah.
You're drinking kava.
If you,
Yeah, peer pressure.
Yeah, if you're here and we have kava, that's probably why you're here.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh,
Did you notice like with it being made that fresh and obviously you had the stomach effects later, but
Yeah.
drinking it, the taste of it, the effects of it, was it any different than when you make your kava?
Yes, it was quite different. It was much smoother.
Really?
And it was also always warm because they don't have refrigerators to put it in.
Right.
And I don't know, I just say it was very smooth. Even though there was a bunch of bacteria and stuff in it, it was very clean tasting. It was definitely it was a much different experience
yeah.
drinking fresh green kava right there that was just pulled out of the ground
Yeah.
Right.
than drinking the dry stuff.
I got some kava root here.
You do. Oh,
Yeah.
it's usually in the shoe.
Yeah.
we meant to.
It's all right. Somebody's getting fired. But no one's here.
One of us.
So now, how do you feel being taking that trip and coming back? How do you personally, being in the kava industry for this long, where do you see the kava industry now? Where was it before, and where do you see it going?
Whew, okay, that's a lot.
Yeah.
So part of the reason I went out there is my friend was going out there because the FDA is starting to inspect farms out in Vanuatu and Fiji, and he was going out there for whatever reasons. He was like, "Hey, I'm going to be out there. Do you want to come?"
Mm-hmm.
And at first I was like, "Ooh, I don't know. I never left the country. Like, yes, I want to go."
Is this your
But
first time leaving the country?
that was my first time leaving the country,
Wow.
and it was about like a month before before I was gonna meet him out there. That's when I decided, fuck it, I'm just gonna go.
Yeah.
And I had to force myself. I had to get a passport immediately and all that
Wow.
stuff.
That's crazy.
But so the FDA is starting, from my understanding, I'm no expert. I buy from suppliers for a reason. I don't do the importing and
Yeah.
exporting. It's too much for me to deal
Don't get
with.
me jammed up.
But I believe the FDA is going to inspecting the kava farms, and if you're not up to code with the American FDA guidelines, then they will shut you down from exporting to America.
Oh wow.
And from my understanding, the FDA will go out there on their dime first, and if you fail, you can't export to America, and then you have to pay for them to come back on your dime,
We're good.
which means you can't be exporting to America. You're losing that money.
Right.
You have to fix whatever the problem is, and then you have to spend money to bring the
them
FDA back out, and that's I can't imagine that's going to be cheap
No.
to
Not
bring
at all.
it to bring the American government back out.
Yeah.
After you fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then They
Sorry, I'm
probably ordered
cursing a lot. I don't know if you guys
cheeseburgers,
care
too.
about
You're
cursing.
good.
Just
Nah, you can
okay.
fucking curse.
Oh.
So the
Haven't cursed yet?
No.
Sorry, mom.
For-
Fuck you.
where from what I'm kind of seeing in my personal experiences, not just from Vanuatu and everything, but especially after being out there, I could foresee an issue with there's a lot of farms that are not doing it the proper way. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people that don't know where they're really getting their kava from. They know where to get it from, but they don't know the
Where it
actual
came from,
process.
Yeah.
So I know there's, I've heard of certain facilities that to dry their kava out, they just lay down a tarp, they pull the kava root out and throw it on the ground, just out in the open.
Oh,
So there's
man.
all kinds of shit get blown on it, bugs coming on it, or who knows what's
And then
going
they
on
just
it.
grind it.
Yeah.
And then they just grind it, and I don't know how well they're cleaning it or not, because I can't speak for any facilities except for the one that I know of. But it seems like there's not all facilities are as clean as they should be.
Right.
And people here, they don't really know what to
You
what to
just
look
trust
for.
the place you're getting it
Exactly,
from, the kava
yeah.
bar that you're getting
And
from.
people like the price. It's like, oh, I like the price. Whatever. I like it, but they don't really know what they're actually consuming. Does it have all the bacteria that I was talking about? Was it actually properly cleaned? So I could see an issue deriving from that when the FDA starts inspecting all these places. A lot of people could be affected by that if that's one of their suppliers. Hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully that everybody is up to code, because personally, no matter what, I just want people to be able to drink good kava.
Yeah.
Right.
I want people to
Safe.
experience it the right way and be, safe about it. So I also would say I appreciate that the FDA is going
Yeah.
and inspecting these farms to make sure that everybody is receiving clean, good kava.
Oh yeah. Just when we thought the FDA was not
Well,
Yeah.
Don't get too
shy.
far
I mean,
into that.
That's
You
the
know?
nicest thing. No,
I don't think we.
but
But
Thank
there's
you
there's
for the FDA.
there's a lot of
Yeah.
but seriously, there's a lot of new people, because even though kava's been around for 1,000 years, there's still a lot of people that don't know about it. Pinellas County happens to have the most kava bars than anywhere I've been. I remember going to a kava bar in New York, in the East Village, and people.
Kava Sutra.
Yeah. Shout out to
Yeah,
Kava
I've been
Sutra.
to that one. I know the owners of that.
Yeah, that was a cool spot.
I've been to the East Village Kava Sutra. And,
Yeah. What's your favorite kava bar that you outside of
Besides
the
yours.
state?
outside of the state.
Yep.
Outside of the state, I would say my favorite kava bar is Kava Collective in San Diego.
Oh,
Um,
San Diego's a vibe.
Yeah,
Stamp
they were the first one there.
Hmm.
They were originally called Rooted. They're now Kava Collective. I think there's two there now. I've only been to the one because I love those guys.
in all of San Diego?
in all of San Diego,
Holy
I
cow.
think there's only two. There's
San
Yeah, I
Diego's
couldn't
huge.
imagine going
Yeah.
anywhere else. I'm
California's
so
huge.
used to Pinellas.
yeah,
where
there's
you
not
get
many in
everything.
all of Cal. I'd say there's probably more in Pinellas County,
Yeah,
or at least the same amount as Pinellas County as the entire state of California.
Wow.
that's not. And California is so big.
Yeah.
How it weighs? California's big.
Yeah.
Up north, there's a higher concentration from the Root of Happiness guy. He has multiple locations up there. I can't
What a
remember
cool
if it's
name,
3 or
Root of
4.
Happiness.
That's cute.
That's
I've been
Awesome.
to the one in, I think it was Sacramento is the one I went to, but the San Diego Kava Bar Kava Collective, my buddies that own that place, just awesome people. They are my brothers. They truly are.
So
And
we'll put their information up next time we in Cali.
So, not to interrupt, but I think I figured out the conversion for the
Okay.
shell. I had to know.
oh, you figured out what the Vanuatu is?
Yes.
So-
So 50, right? You said 50?
Vanuatu.
Mm-hmm.
That equals 42 cents
42.
in the
Okay,
US.
so yeah,
Oh
yeah,
my
that's what I
God.
roughly that. Yeah, because I know if I have.
42 cents.
Wow.
Give me two.
I'll take $10
I'm buying
here.
a
Because I know if I looked at the bill, it would be like 10,000 Vatu is roughly around $100, somewhere
Right.
in that range.
Did you want any more?
I still got some in here.
I'll take
Now, it's like in Fiji,
computer.
I realize the sticker's still on here, but this Tanoa costs $800 Fijian, which was $400 American.
I mean, it's still
That's
that ain't
amazing.
that ain't no chump change.
No.
Did you
Oh,
meet
totally
the
worth it.
artist who made it?
No, I didn't meet the artist who made that. No, this is at a store called Jack's. It's a pretty big store, but it's the one store that we can trust that is actually going to be sent over and not be broken or a
Okay.
replica.
Is that Pearl?
That's
Yes,
mother of
that's
Pearl. Mother
what
of
I
Pearl.
said.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, Amanda likes
Yeah.
pearls.
That's dope. I want
I
one.
love the turtles.
Where can I find one of these?
You can go to Fiji, man.
See, I knew you were gonna say
Or
that.
if somebody
I knew you
in
were gonna say
Fiji
that.
wants to send us one.
Oh.
Yeah. Hey, one of our subscribers, if
We
you're in
will-
Fiji,
Yeah, we have.
Yeah, there you go.
hey,
We have
know about
quite a
man. Send it
few.
through.
You might be able to talk to Matt Massafilio of the Alabal, the
Okay.
Alabal guy.
All right.
He might know where to get Tanoas.
Mesothelioma. I saw a commercial
Oh
about
my
that.
god.
Oh my
Lawrence.
God.
Oh, see,
No, but
oh,
for real,
the
that
commercials for the.
he's an awesome dude.
Yeah.
He has
Different
a
thing.
Kava, I'm pretty sure he still has a Kava bar in Tampa too. But super nice guy.
Yeah.
Believe he's Tongan and was raised in Hawaii. I can't remember, but
Oh,
awesome
wow.
dude. And I think he might know where to get to know us.
All right. Well, we're gonna reach out to him.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
we should have one.
Either way, great dude to know.
We should have a KavaSpills Tanoa.
Yeah.
Let's go. You
That
have
would
any
be
questions for him?
Um,
You always love Lowtide when we go.
I do love Lowtide.
Every time I say you want to go to Lowtide, it's always yes.
Yes, I love the new mural that you added. It's
Oh, yes.
just a treasure.
Awesome.
Like at the Mexican restaurant across the street, looking at it, it just added
Beautiful.
such a beautiful backdrop.
Oh, I'm glad you like it. I love it.
Those tacos were
Absolutely
so
love it.
good. What restaurant is that?
I don't remember what it's called. That restaurant
Drunken
changes
Taco.
I
names
know.
so often.
That's why I
Drunken
lose
Taco.
count.
Drunken Taco, you're right.
And it was
Very
like
good.
Boca the last time I remember. But those tacos
Boca
hit
Bay.
for the
It was
Kava
something
tour.
in between Boca Bay. I
You
don't know.
Yeah.
get food bad.
That I know. Hey man, shout out to Mike
Yeah,
for making that
thanks,
extract.
Mike.
That extract does work if you were wondering. I mean, the first leg of the Kava
I said,
tour,
don't do it all,
my
Lawrence.
friend made some extracts, and
Don't do it
I
all.
needed.
60 ounce.
So there was Kava sitting there, and I needed room in my cup. There was no cup, so I was like, it would probably be a good idea to finish what's in the cup. Was not a good idea.
No.
First stop, I'm sweating. I'm trying to pay attention to people's conversations, like, and then in the middle of their conversation, they're like, "Hey, are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine." Just water just dripping, like those SNL skits where the water's just
We're
coming
like
out.
trying to help.
I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, what's going
We're
on? You
like
look
trying
great."
to teach
You want
these
me to-
newbies that are with us, like,
Yeah,
how to drink kava, and here
I'm over
Lawrence
here
is
like,
about to die.
yeah. We worked it out. That taco brought me back.
And
Nice.
then you
Taco
had
brought me
a
back.
shell at Lowtide, and you were ready to go again.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah, all you needed to fix yourself is just get a shell from Lowtide.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I had a lot of funny. I had a lot of funny. I had a.
How's that kava?
Lowtide Kava.
It's my second cup, and I'm telling you, your second.
You can't sip this
your
like you sip
second
the other
Lowtide.
ones.
Welcome
Oh,
to
no.
Lowtide.
Oh, you can't sip it, but I'm a sipper, so we gonna. Now Sloan here. I don't know if you know. I do have Kava tatted on me. I've been drinking for over 10 years. But Sloan here,
Does she have Kava tattooed all over her back?
she's yeah. She has
Blood.
a tramp stamp that says "Shells
Oh,
up."
gross. Shells up.
I didn't mean to give your secrets out.
Oh.
But she's a sipper. I mean, like, what's your favorite time of day to drink kava?
Not the mornings.
Not the mornings, huh? See, I
Yeah.
love a.
Well,
my
it's because
first
I don't
shell's-
wake up until noon.
Oh.
Yeah, true.
Um,
So literally not the mornings.
Yeah. But typically, I mean, I drink most of my kava at night. I'm a night owl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just how I've always been growing up. You know,
Yeah.
not getting enough, staying up too late and have to be at school in the morning. Just my entire life, I've been a night owl.
Yeah.
I'm more productive at night. I think more clearly at night. So I drink my kava mostly at night too.
So
I do drink it during the day as well, but
Yeah. So tell me about, like, I must ask you on camera. Probably didn't prep you for this, but I heard there's an
you
infamous.
didn't prep me for anything, man. I
I
have
know.
no idea what
Trying to
I'm
sound
walking into.
professional. There's an infamous
No,
blueberry story.
I like the surprise. All right,
There's
let's
an
see.
infamous blueberry story.
Oh.
I
I
was
don't know
told
where you're
by
going with
multiple
this.
people that you once had a diet of just kava and blueberries. Now,
Oh my
is
gosh.
this true? I've heard this from multiple
like a-
people. Like,
An old wives' tale?
What?
it started by saying, I was just like, hey, I've never seen Sean eat before. And they were like, yeah, once he just
they
had
played
blueberries.
you.
And
They played
you think
you
so?
like you do to other people.
Is it true?
I mean,
With
no.
the stories.
I do love blueberries. Absolutely
Alright.
love blueberries. Not even my favorite fruit, though. My favorite fruit is pomegranate. But no,
Pomegranate.
I didn't like carry around blueberries with me everywhere. It's like,
Yeah, I was asking myself, and then blueberries are expensive.
Coconut water, a soda
Yeah,
water,
Coke-
Yeah.
and a Kava.
coconut water, that is a part of my diet. You know?
Yes.
You know, I'll drink
Yes,
fucking
every
5 of
time
these
I
a day.
see you have that. You have a Waterloo flavored
Yep.
soda water.
It's important to stay hydrated,
ginger-
people.
Wait, well,
Rail
that's what I was
of
gonna
some
ask.
Ginger ale.
And a Kava, of
There was a
course.
point in time where I set my own record. It's not the greatest, but I was sitting at one of the outside tables. This is probably 2015 or something like that. And I had 10 drinks in front of me. I had a Kava, I had a
thought I
Kratom,
was
I had
the
a
drink
coconut
queen.
water, I had a ginger ale,
You're
I had a
close.
kombucha, I had an apple juice, I think just a regular water. I don't even spend so long.
Why is
I don't
apple
know.
juice so good with kava?
Apple juice is great with Kava.
Why?
Yeah.
It's just
Wait,
like
I've never
you ever,
tried it.
Oh, you gotta
Kava
try
makes
it.
Coconut
you
water is still the
thirsty,
best.
And apple juice is just so refreshing.
It's just, I don't know why, it just hits different. Yeah. What's your favorite thing to pair with kava?
Coconut water,
Coconut water.
100%.
Just straight coconut water or flavored coconut water?
Just straight coconut water.
Okay.
I love coconut.
Now, if you went into a kava bar and they gave you kava that was flavored, what would you say?
I'd say, well, first off, what flavors do you have?
They say chocolate.
I'd say,
This
cool.
is our new chocolate M&M kava.
I'd say, I'll try it.
All right.
Yeah. We used to do flavored kava at Lowtide,
Really?
but I never really caught on, so just like, let's
Yeah.
just stick with traditional.
Just drink
I
kava.
like.
Yeah,
I
do
this-
you do you find like you get a lot of people that ask for like half and half or anything in it? Like, do you believe that does anything?
As like strengthening wise?
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Oh.
I could tell you a fun story. When we were trying to come up with like flavor recipes for Lowtide when we were first opening, my buddy Chris Wendell, who I started Lowtide with, he had this idea for Cloud 9. It was strawberry maple kava.
Oh, boy.
And we used, it's
Like maple
fantastic.
Maple syrup is the only thing in this world that I don't like.
What if it's with kava though?
I'm
no,
so sorry.
no, she can smell it 10 miles away.
No.
Well, I made some other flavors too, but
Okay,
anyways,
maple strawberry.
so it was around Christmas time because we opened up in February
Mhm.
and we started, working on everything around December. We actually had a very quick turnaround from us deciding to open up a Lowtide and then opening Lowtide.
Yeah.
But we're working on recipes around December, so eggnog was around.
Okay.
And I decided to use, instead of like coconut milk or almond milk, I used eggnog as the milk and the kava with the strawberry and the maple.
Oh my.
And we were all wrecked after, like, destroyed after one shell because of all the fat
From the eggnog.
From the
I
eggnog.
don't like
So-
the idea of the eggnog kava.
So
Maybe with like a spice of some sort.
I mean, he had me at stronger. So so the myth. So that is true. So
So
people
it's
are
the fats,
mixing.
right? It's
I-
the way your
yeah.
body processes the
Yeah,
fat.
I believe it is because I've felt that, and I also believe that spicy food can help nullify the effects of kava a
That's
bit.
what they say.
I've been there a couple of times.
Yeah,
whereas
me too.
A bag of Doritos.
You gotta spice it up to bring it back a little bit. That's a good point. People, if you try kava and you go a little too far in the Muddyville and the muddy, drink some spicy
Should
food.
that be
Eat
a
some spicy
commandment?
I was just getting ready to ask.
Make
if
spicy
Ask
food.
away.
Sean
Yes.
thinks we should have any.
Yeah, what's your kava commandment?
So far, commandments are, and I will mess these up. Always keep a stick on you because you gotta stir it.
Yep.
If your kava,
You
the
know,
place you're buying kava from also sells gasoline,
Don't buy
don't
kava.
buy kava there.
I would agree with that.
The kava, well, that goes with the kava needs to be made with gloves.
Yes.
Okay.
I
Which-
think that was number
Yes.
one.
Which
Yeah.
brings us actually to a question. Does the
Yes.
person brewing kava, is it a difference if they don't drink it versus if they drink it? Can a person brew good kava and not drink kava?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay.
I definitely believe so. But they have to still love and respect what it is.
What they're doing, right?
And what
Gotcha.
they're doing. And understand what it is that they're doing. And
Gotcha.
you know, I'd like to explain the tradition of where it comes from for me, and the tradition. And now I have a different perspective
Right.
going out to Vanuatu. But yeah, I believe that you don't have to drink kava to make good kava. You have to just understand it and respect
Yeah.
the kava.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
You
And
can't,
put some love into it.
yeah, and absolutely put some love into it. It doesn't matter what kind of love that is. You don't have to be saying, I love you, kava. I love you, kava.
Some people do
But-
though.
You just
You
have
know,
to care about it.
You have to care
have
about
some
it. You have to have a
passion.
positive vibe. You're coming in, you're angry about something. Somebody
wanna be
pissed
doing
you up,
this.
Yeah.
pissed you
Yeah.
off. Wash that away.
Or
Just
don't
remember,
make
you're
kava.
here to make kava. Like, come on, it's such a beautiful thing. Like,
It is.
no need to be, no, shouldn't be putting anger in it. So, this is a buddy of mine, Nick. He runs a kava bar down in Miami now. He does all kinds of crazy flavor concoctions and all kinds of shit. But when he was, that was when I was working at Bula, and he got hired. I was the one that trained him how to brew. And then there was one night he was bar backing and brewing while I was working or something like that. And I walked back to the back to the kitchen. And it's pitch black in there, but there's nothing but candles lighting.
Oh my gosh.
And he's playing like this beautiful music, and he's wearing
His apron.
he's wearing an apron, but he's also wearing a button-down shirt with a tie and a
Oh my
vest, like
gosh.
super fancy, and he's just
Massaging the kava.
he's just massaging the kava
What a
with the
romantic
candle light,
Wait,
with
what did I
music.
miss?
You missed a lot.
What did I just
Uh,
miss?
You missed a lot.
Massage.
I thought
So
it would be
that
funny.
ever since then, that's a beautiful memory of mine. So shout out to
is.
Nick Bauer of Mystic Joint, because that, to me, it was beautiful. Him just sitting there making
I
kava
love
and
it.
candlelight, and
Yeah,
all
I love
dressed
it.
up, fancy for the kava. It's beautiful.
that's dope.
I think it would be great to do a take on the Ghost movie and make a brewing scene.
I love it.
He can make it happen. He owns a production company, so that would be
There
I
would be
love
love
that.
involved too.
that would be
I
that
love
would be
that.
dope. Except there would be more squeezing than molding.
Yeah.
But the
That's
the
perfect.
juiciness is on the
Ah.
inside.
That's
You could just, it'd
fantastic.
just be like,
So fantastic.
yo, we could do one and just they're both like really just.
All right, nobody out there, nobody
Yeah.
feel that.
idea.
Lowtide's gonna do
You
that.
heard it here first. You heard it here first.
Thank
Oh,
you for
man.
that. That's beautiful.
What was
I
that?
love that.
What was I about to say? What was I
Nobody
about to
cares.
So is
say?
there a
Go ahead,
commandment
thank
you
you.
think that there should be
Oh, yeah.
besides what
Thank you,
we've
guys.
already told you?
A
Only common
commandment.
commandments. People that they should live by.
Anything on
When
your
brewing or drinking,
Anything.
I mean, the biggest thing for me is just respecting the
Yes.
kava
Respect.
and
Respect.
showing love, whether you're brewing,
Yes,
whether you're a
consent.
customer, like understanding what it is that you're drinking and how special it is.
Yeah.
And you don't have to know all the history of where it comes from and everything, but it is a very beautiful tradition, and not just Vanuatu, not just Fiji. There's Papua New Guinea, there's Solomon Islands, there's Tonga, and there's so many islands all in that area, and they all have their own different way of drinking. Like Fijians, they in certain tribes in Fiji or areas in Fiji, they get together and they do a big ceremony with the bula.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't believe everywhere in Fiji does that. Vanuatu is different, but they all love and respect the kava,
Yeah.
and that's the biggest thing for me.
Uh-huh.
And if you're working behind the bar, my biggest commandment is wash your freaking hands.
Wash your
Yeah,
hands.
there
That's
you
a good
go.
commandment to
Yeah,
have.
Wash your
Wash your
That's
hands.
a good commandment to have.
Wash your hands.
It's so neat to me to I've known a little bit about kava. Obviously, I've been drinking it for a few years, but I feel like there's so much out there that we don't we haven't even scratched the surface.
Oh,
Even
no.
you, who's been drinking it the longest, we had a listener comment on one of our podcasts, and I learned so much from
Yeah.
him that I had no idea. The
The paragraph he left too.
it was like a novel. We appreciate
It's a
it, but
thesis.
it was long. And I don't know. Do you guys remember what area he was talking about? Where he was telling us about how they do this clap.
Yeah.
I've seen the clap on a video before.
So they're
Okay,
just
so
all
that-
these
that
little
might-
Seen the
things you
clap.
don't know.
That might be a Fijian thing. So I have some Fijian friends. The main guy's name is Mudu.
Mudu.
Mudu, and he's done fire performance for some of our anniversaries.
Oh wow.
And I think it was our 5th or 6th year anniversary. I can't remember which one it was.
It's been so many.
Yeah, it has. There has. Well, hopefully many more. But anyways, he curated a kava ceremony, a Fijian kava ceremony, where his dad, awesome, cool dude as well, sat next to me on the stage in the courtyard. And, what do you want some kava too?
Yeah, it's like
You want
everybody
some kava
drinking
too?
kava. You want some kava, man?
And
What
then
attention.
across from me were other Fijians that were speaking Fijian, and then his father was my translator.
Oh wow, that's pretty cool.
Which was pretty cool. I don't remember where I was going with this or what.
The kava, man. The kava takes over.
But
There's ceremony.
yeah. So there's some things that like they taught me, and they would bring a Tanoa out and they would get kava powder from us, and then they would make it in the Tanoa out in the courtyard or
Oh wow.
inside, and so they would
Yep.
roll up,
Yeah.
they would drink,
Uh huh.
and then I can't remember if I think it's sometimes some of them do 1, 2,
Yeah.
3, they drink, and then 1, 2, some of them,
One clap this time.
and then another one
Clap
that
this
they
time.
clap before, they bula, they drink, and then they clap again.
Yeah.
There's another cool thing that Mudu's dad taught me is that
You're gonna help my audio editing, by the way. Thank you for the claps. You're gonna help me line all these up. So
Yeah.
perfect.
there you go. He showed me this. He's like, whenever you want to come drink with us, come drink with us. Terrible, and shouldn't even try to do
Yeah,
that.
I was gonna point it out.
but that was bad. But
new
he's
for
like,
us.
if you want to come drink with us, just you don't have to say a word. Just come and like, just flick the table like that.
Wow.
We'll give you a shell and we'll drink.
Wow.
I'm gonna try that.
He's
at
like,
Lowtide
or
next
you can
time.
come up and say taki, which is kind of like time to drink.
Oh, it's not
Ah.
the chips.
Yeah,
Not the
so I
chips.
would
not the
say
chips.
taki, and
Taki.
I would say taki, and they go, and they give me a shell, we bula, and we clap.
What would you say if I walked into Lowtide and I hit him with the?
They probably wouldn't remember.
Yeah.
But if you did it to me,
Yeah.
and I was behind the bar, and you're just like,
Yeah.
oh, let me get you a shell.
That would be
understand,
so pimp. That would be so.
That's
so,
like how you like to roll.
Yeah. So how does someone that is introduced to kava and deep in the kava industry, how do you start a film company? Like where did that come from?
So the film company. So what happened with that is, I mean, I've always been interested in film. I mean, I've always loved movies and always been interested in making movies as well. And I specifically remember one of my oldest and fondest memories is my dad, sitting down with my dad and watching Empire Strikes Back for the first time,
Oh.
and also the original Dawn of the Dead, and pissing my pants watching the original Dawn of the Dead as a, I don't know, probably 10-year-old or something
Yeah.
like that, and seeing these throats get ripped out. That's
10 years old, huh?
something like that. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. And then in high school, I did some TV production and did a media class where I ran the video part
Yeah.
of making commercials and stuff like that as Sean the Leprechaun. It was terrible.
I'm the
I love it.
It
leprechaun.
was so bad.
Please, do you have
I
any of
wish
that?
I wish I had it. I would show it to everybody. 'Cause I know
Oh,
it's
man.
bad, but
It would be great.
It's gonna pop up somewhere. Watch.
It's gone. It's gone. I might be able to get videos of me broadcasting on the news in high school,
Oh wow.
but that kind of really triggered something into me. And then my uncle, he also is in film production stuff, and he was doing this documentary called Thespians,
Oh,
and it
wow.
was
Yeah.
following three different schools on their journey to state competition, which ended up being in Tampa.
Yep.
So he's like, "Hey, we have
I've
a
been.
yeah,
What's your? You remember your troop number?
93827.
Nice, that's awesome.
88112, I
Shoot,
think.
5742. Yeah, you remember your troop number?
I was never in drama
Oh,
class.
bet.
Yeah,
It wasn't that. That was.
I wish I had now, you know,
Yeah.
because I love acting and everything, and the performance of all it. But I never did that. I wish I had. But he asked me, he's like, "Hey, do you want to be a PA on this documentary for the week or so that they're going to be in Tampa?" I was like, "Yeah, fuck yeah, sure, why not?" You know,
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing, but why not?
Yeah, let's go.
And
fun.
there was one day. It was if you guys know the Tampa Theater and the convention center.
Yep.
We had just filmed some stuff at Tampa Theater, and it might have been I think it was the day that I filmed. I got to see my sister she was St. Pete Catholic, which is where I went to school too. Her troupe performed in Tampa Theater, and I was there filming it. I was
That's
the
pretty
PA.
dope.
And so I got to watch my sister and my other friend Andrew, who's the new brewer on Saturdays at Lowtide,
That's pretty dope.
perform and be part of this documentary. And when we were done with that, we had to transfer gear over to the convention center. And with the bus, it was something screwed up or something. They're like, we need you to take this to the convention center. And it's like 85 degrees out.
Ooh.
And I have a tripod and all these things that I had to carry. I had to walk all the way to the convention center.
Oh my gosh.
Far walk.
It was a far walk.
Come to pass.
And that whole time I was like, this is what I want to do.
Oh,
The whole time you're like, yes.
Loved
This is
every
awful,
moment of
but I
it.
love every moment of this.
Huh.
And then eventually a couple friends they had this idea for a movie, and I said, fuck it. I went and got a Best Buy credit card, bought a shitty camera, and just started reading books, and said, fuck it, I'm just going to learn on the job.
Oh, wow.
awesome.
And then Ken.
Yeah.
Thank you to Ken for letting me make commercials for Bula.
Yeah.
And actually, Ken is he put up the money for my very first short film that I ever wrote and directed.
Let's go, man. Ken's an OG.
It's my brother,
I feel
man.
bad, man. I feel
fucking
bad
love
for
that man.
blowing up your phone, but we really want you on the show.
Yeah, come
You
on,
know?
Ken. If I can come on, you don't
There we
let
go.
me.
We got some
upstage
bait.
you.
We got some bait. Yeah, he's a part of so many people's story.
Oh.
And what I love about him and Lowtide too is they pay attention to the culture. It's more of an education than let me just sell you some kava. Hey, you're here for kava.
Well,
let
Ken's
me...
been to Vanuatu as well.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
I bet.
Yeah, he was there a long time ago.
Wait. I have a question. If I want to just go to Vanuatu, can I just go and do what you did? Or is it more of a you have to be invited? You have to
good
know
question.
someone?
I would recommend knowing somebody that's been there. The other problem is, no, you wouldn't be able to have the full experience that I had
Right.
because every single kava bar that I went to, there are no women there drinking.
Interesting.
The men,
Wow.
the men drink the kava there.
Ah.
I mean, I believe
Interesting.
women do, but they can't drink it with the men.
Okay.
And I'm not
So,
100% on
I can
that, but
see
there were no women at the kava
Like, I
bar.
can
You
drink
over
with
there?
the men.
Right,
Yeah.
right. We'll change that.
Yeah.
I saw some females serving kava at different windows at different kava
Oh,
bars.
okay. As long as I can drink it while I
So
serve it.
yeah, they probably weren't allowed to
No,
drink it, but I can see you doing
at
that.
some of the other ones I did see one girl, an American girl with some dude were there. I don't know if she was allowed to drink it or not. I wasn't paying. I was just hanging out and having fun
Yeah.
drinking my kava.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a bit different culture.
That's really
with,
interesting.
The
Are
men
they
are mainly the ones.
Mormon there?
No, they're mostly Christian.
Okay.
What an
I was
interesting question.
gonna say,
Well,
yeah, go ahead.
The first time I ever heard of kava was, I think, like 2013. I have a friend from middle school and high school, and he grew up Mormon, and had a lot of like Fijian friends, and they would drink kava, and I was like, "What's kava?" And he's like, "Oh, you don't want to know. It's gross." And I'm like,
But he was drinking it?
"Okay, yeah." He would say, "We're
course
gonna
he
go
was.
mix tonight," and I'd be like, "You're gonna go mix? Okay, what's that?" "Oh, kava. It's gross." And like it's not for women, and
Wow.
like he had that mindset, I guess, because
Yeah.
he knew he was
Right.
introduced by people who
Oh,
were from the
probably.
So
Yeah.
he assumed that you wouldn't like it,
yes,
or just
and then
couldn't drink it.
yeah, and then